Hello and welcome to the Kundalini podcast. That was Zen. This is Tao. I'm Vivek Kovik. Namaste. This is episode 87, and when my memories of 1987 make me think about certain things in my life back then and how much has changed. Uh, One of the things, a major difference between me now and me then, largely due to the awakening, is the fact that I have fewer possessions. This is a tricky subject all by itself, so I'm going to attempt to do some justice to it in the next episode. Like this episode is 14 minutes. But it's a vast topic, just like karma. When I was talking about karma, I said the same thing. It's a vast topic that you can't really do any justice to it. Forget 14 minutes. You could talk for hours and not even get to the core of the issue. So, possessions. As the transformation happens, yeah, generally people have understood for a long time that having fewer possessions is the sign of a holy person. They don't know exactly why. Some people may have some idea. Others just know that from scripture or have seen it and follow it. But you really start to understand it after the awakening. So, to give the example of me from 1987, when I was 14, I loved to wear jeans. I still am wearing jeans. But back then, there was this thing called acid washed jeans, and those were the rage. Oh, and I so craved it, and I had to go looking for those in the store so I can look cool in school, wearing acid washed jeans. And had to be the Nike sneakers or whatever, and I couldn't get Nike. Oh, so bad. That kind of thinking. Now, these days, I think kids have the same fascination with an iPhone. Maybe it's still jeans, I don't know. The point being, today I wear them as utility. I'm wearing a pair of jeans that is rugged, fit, allows me to go to work, do work. And that's it. That's the purpose of those jeans. They have to look good, of course. But I may not crave them as badly as I did back when I was 40. Okay, now think about unchecked what happens with this cycle. Let's say I had remained the same person, which is the trajectory I had taken from the age of 14 to, okay, get a good degree, get a good job, have a family. Hey, you were doing it just automatically, driven by that dangling carrot, as they say. There's a mechanism. Like if you do this, then the next thing will be this. And it keeps going on. So if your soul is dissatisfied, if you're not content with something at a very deep level, that just keeps multiplying because now it's going in a completely opposite direction. In my case, that happened to be material possession and craving of the sort that I just mentioned. I want this pair of jeans, I want this phone, etc. Now, remember, today I'm talking to you on an iPhone. I got a new iPhone SE, which is an excellent device, by the way. It helps me do a function. Before that, I had used another iPhone and Android Nokia phone to make my videos. But getting the new one immediately puts more professionalism in my video making. I can think more. It brought to my mind a concept called Jirnodhar. And that's the best way I can explain possessions. Because the usual thing about, oh, I crave this, but how do I do this mindfully, observe the craving, etc. How do I not want to possess more things? I go to Amazon online and suddenly I want to put everything in my basket. Happens to me. You go to a store which is set up in a very attractive way to make you buy more stuff. And you go there and end up buying more than what you could have, or should have, what you went with a plan and ended up buying more, etc., etc. So the old iPhone that I was using, or a pair of jeans, just used as an utility, it made me realize that when I changed it, I just changed it as a machine, like as a cameraman working on a film crew would change a lens or a camera. It's not a personal possession. When people buy a camera or something good like that electronic device that's big, it's a personal investment. But on a set, in an industrial setting, those are just tools. You just interchange them and use it. The utility is more important, right? Now, when we investigate the craving for possessions and the sell tactic and what made you buy it, is giving you some kind of a satisfaction. What would I get out of acid wash jeans compared to something else that was comfortable to wear and looked good? Nothing. But try telling that to my teenage self. Today, through many, many years of what is called growing up, you come to that point where it's like, okay, doesn't have to be something that occupies my mind and makes me dissatisfied all the time, right? So Jeernoddhar is when in a temple in India, things get worn out and then they're rebuilt. So, which is the same thing as reconstructing a house, remodeling, fixing up a house, fixer-upper, as they call it, old house that is being redone, right? If you look at it from that concept, and look at the iPhone, look at the pair of jeans, look at the sneakers, look at everything. I use it, I got good value for my money, and after I'm done using it, as Jeernoddhar, as it literally means what is worn has been replaced, kinda. So what has been worn out by use and served well for that purpose has now been replaced with something better. In this concept, you acknowledge wear and tear. You're using that piece of equipment, that instrument, whatever it is, electronic, for the right purpose, for utility, not for its value of, I have a better instrument, look, other people will be impressed. Well, are you using it? My iPhone gets a lot of use. I take a lot of pictures. I have a workflow set up on it, just like I had on my laptop. They are becoming more and more capable. So it's like, I've been using this every day. The mindset is completely different when you buy it that way. This is going to give me this much bang for my buck. I'll be able to do this, and this. Previously, I was not able to do that. You look at it from a tool perspective. And then you buy the best. You buy the best, use it well. And when the opportunity arises for keeping up with the latest technology, you're not stuck with just one thing. You're not rigid in that either. You move to the next thing. But throughout, it was about what its functionality is, what its utility is for me in my life, in my workflow. In this case, videography and making videos and photography. You see the difference? When it's worn out of use, and it provided you great use. I also had to learn the component of taking care of things. In the past, all of these things that I craved, wasn't very good at taking care of them because I didn't value them as much. I didn't receive them like, precious thing that I'm going to use. And put much value into it. It was just a tool. Or it was just something I got because, that day I felt good. Those things don't hold your attention for too long. Things that you bought out of that, instant gratification mindset of, I want to buy this, it feels good. Whereas, buying something new as a work tool, it just blends into the workflow. And you start making videos, you start doing this, like, okay, now I'm exploring the possibilities. And you get a satisfaction at a much deeper level. This satisfaction comes from, I wasn't able to take pictures like this, that bird flew and it didn't get captured exactly where I wanted it to because I had a slower camera that is worn out and the lens is very cloudy now. This one, so amazing to finally get back into my workflow. Then I have mindfulness. Because then mindfulness takes over and watches this whole process of you learning or de-learning from old habits gained from faulty equipment or substandard equipment to something better. Then my satisfaction grows. My art improves. My workflow, my skill, my technique all improve. And it becomes a cascade of positive development in your life, right? Whereas what happens when you buy something just because you craved it and it's a possession, a show, like, look at this, I have this, nobody else does. First of all, other people could put that to better use. You could just buy something that you're going to use for, maybe in certain circles that you travel, you need to have that ability to, be at that same level and own those things because that's part of what is expected of you. Okay, that is understandable. However, when I started doing this utility based buying of stuff, I realized you have more time to focus on yourself as a human being. Your mind is not constantly activated by, stimulated by commercials, hoardings, messages given through them subliminally or overtly, and parting you from your money, making it essential to go out shopping. You see what I'm saying? It's a cycle. And when you see it from a utility base, you're actually giving more importance to the human being inside you. Its aspirations, in my case, his aspirations, goals, potential on this planet, away from distractions of materialism. That's the best way to put it. So, God has given us the ability to do something with tools. God has given us incredible tools. And when we start using them, finding our creative abilities, finding our bliss, joy through those actions, then it doesn't matter if you're wearing acid wash jeans. But to the 14-year-old trying to, impress his then crush, it makes a big difference. It has to be a balance of both those things. I'm not saying at all that people should not, look good or want better clothes. I do too. But the 14-year-old me was imbalanced in that direction of craving stuff. Right. And today, thinking about that, I thought I'd make a video. Okay, how much has changed since then? And this is what I thought about. Like, okay, what am I doing right now? Okay, I'm setting up this new phone and I got a tripod. I'm, thinking of shots and making up storylines, etc. Moving ahead, some other things, some other plans for videos that I had. More complex, more evolved, instead of just, a simple conversation with people. All of those ideas now suddenly gain traction in your mind and you're thinking in that direction because it's a utility-based approach. None of your time, none of your brain power is spent craving for something you don't have. You're making the best of what you have and you're upgrading when you can. That contrasted to a life of constant craving, a life of constant pining for other things that you don't have, goes away by also grounding yourself in that moment. I've mentioned recently how I compartmentalize each part of my life. Getting on the bus, getting to work, next task, and using breath practices, using mantras. Let go of the past. Be in this moment. That also helps with not having cravings. That also helps with not having unnecessary thoughts in your mind that might distract you from what you are doing right now, which is very essential. So this is one way of doing it, is by treating possessions as tools, utilities, and how much use you can get out of them. And then the kind of buying that you will do, the kind of research that you will do will be so relevant to your life. You will take into account what your uses are for that day, your whole day. And these are accomplished by buying this tool. This helps me better my potential, do my work, create more output. Whatever it is that actually gives you soul satisfaction. And the possession is just a utility. Is a more satisfying feeling in the long run than craving possessions, is the best way I can put it. This is Vivek Govekar signing off. I hope you found this helpful. Peace, love, blessings. God bless you all.